What's going on, good people? It's Mars Day with Mark, number 118. Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. Grateful to see your face. We're going to talk about astrology today. So if you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back, Fire family. Stay lit, stay positive. We're going to talk about the transits of the week from September 16 all the way to the 23rd. So that's Tuesday to Tuesday. Mars Day with Mark, Mr. Mark the Shark. So I'm going to run you guys through the highlights of the charts, the angles, and then how this might affect us. And if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like so that this message can get out to the people who are trying to see this. So happy Virgo season. Guys, this is a really interesting week. I'm going to lay the highlights out right on the table before I get to the degrees. First, we've got the eclipse window closing. So we'll have a new moon this week, lunar eclipse, just like the last one. I should say it's a solar eclipse. I'm bugging. We just had a lunar eclipse. Now we're going to get a solar eclipse. So that window of eclipses is going to close this week. And what that means is this chaotic ass energy that we've been experiencing for a second is about to smooth out as we start the new season. So that's beautiful. So yeah, eclipses are closing. Number two, the sun is changing signs to Libra. We've got Mercury, Venus, and Mars changing signs. Some retrogrades in the sky. We're going to break it all down. So sit back, relax, put your listening hat on, gang. We got the sun at 24 Virgo. That's today on the 16th, okay? We've got the moon waning through Cancer at about 27 degrees as I'm filming these. I almost said sun again. The Mercury in the sky is at 27 Virgo, right next to the sun. Little sextile with the moon right now, feeling good. We've got Venus at 26 degrees of Leo, Mars at 26 Libra, that's also a sextile. We've got Jupiter at 20 degrees of Cancer, Saturn retro at 28 degrees of Pisces, Uranus retro at 1 degree of Gemini. You've got Neptune retrograde as well at 0 degrees of Aries, and you've got Pluto retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius. So next week, the 23rd, as you see, as you heard, we'll have our sun at the 1st degree of Libra. The moon will be waxing at that point because we'll be past our new moon, somewhere in Libra at that point. We will have Mercury in Libra at about 9 degrees. Venus is at 5 degrees of Virgo. We've got Mars at 1 degree of Scorpio. Guys, these are big shifts. We get about 4 ingresses if you count the moon. And that's pretty special. So Jupiter moves up to about 21 Cancer, Saturn 28 Pisces, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto still in the same degrees. And we have the North Node in Pisces at about 17 degrees, guys. Very powerful stuff. So let's break it down step by step by step. So I'm going to start with the moon. I just feel called to do that because we kind of go in order of proximity on some level. Honestly, the order is kind of broken off that spectrum of thought. It's whatever way you want to see it. I'm feeling the sun, moon, and then we'll work to the planets. No, I'm bugging. I just said moon, sun. Either way, let's talk about this moon. Are you guys doing okay? Are you all right? Because, man, these eclipses are something else. We always know they're going to be intense, but I don't think this one really held back any punches. Especially with that moon in the sign of Pisces. That's where our full moon lunar eclipse was, guys. And man, I prayed to the universe, and a lot of you guys were in circle with me. We did a ritual that we manifest our dreams, in other words, Pisces, and clear up everything beyond that. So I feel in my life, so much has been stirred in my unconscious, and I think it's the same for a lot of us. You know, Pisces is a water sign. It's not just today's Cancer moon, but these last couple weeks have been really characterized and colored by a lot of emotion and the ocean. Just got to go with that flow, man. Makes you wonder. It's like, you know, if you are a wave, how do you differentiate yourself from the other waves if you're all in the same ocean, you know? And as the waves crash and converge and diverge, you know, we inevitably become the ocean. Whole time we thought we were some stupid wave. You see what I'm saying? Hey man, Pisces is about transcendence. So that might also be the end of the sentence. Anyway, The blessing is in Virgo season. You know, sun and moon is like mom and dad, or dad and mom, however you want to see it. So Virgo season, tail end of summer, is harvest time. As we turn the wheel this time, getting ready for fall, there's a lot to say about putting things in place, organizing, synthesizing is the key word. I want to tell you guys, if you only take one word from this video, let the word be synthesis. You know, whatever we focus on, we attract into our lives. We spend our energy on that. And the magical word today is synthesis. Synthesis. Please put that in the comments. Incorporate it into your comment, whether it's just synthesis or it's I'm creating synthesis or synthesis is working magic in my lives. Leave me some interaction on this video so I know you're receiving this message. Synthesis. This is what I like to see in my life because there's always something to do, always something to chase. In Virgo, where our sun is, this is the spirit, the sun, the spirit of self-improvement, Virgo. So you'll find in the month of Virgo, damn near every time, and for the last 24 days or so, man, it's always somewhat about how can I do better? How can I improve this moment, myself or my experience? And that's really cool. We love that spirit because better is better. You know, it sounds redundant, but it's the truth. Better is better. But how can we get better without using our resources? Kind of hard to. I don't know if it's even possible. So that's why I say synthesis, fire family. Synthesis. We all have 24 hours in a day. We have a finite amount of energy at any current moment. There are ways we can raise our energy. So that's also worth looking into. But the point of me saying this is that we have to be wise. We have to be cunning in the way that we use our energy and navigate this world. And I've been thinking about the three rays. I'm going to tell you guys something that's been changing my life: power, love, wisdom. Power, love, wisdom. And these seem to be basically essential to get anything done in your life. Without power, there's no movement. Without love, there's no depth and meaning. And without wisdom, you know, it's kind of hard to make the other two work for you. Wisdom shows virtue. It shows a optimal way to do things. So power, love, and wisdom. And I've been thinking about this in the terms of the zodiac. And I feel like our cardinal signs, like Aries and Cancer and Libra and Capricorn, they have a lot to do with the power. I mean, and then the next one's the fixed, which is going to be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. I feel like they have a lot to do with love. And then these mutable signs, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, they have a lot to do with wisdom. And maybe you could say all three rays are blended within each sign, but that's just how I'm seeing it, fam. So at this point in time, with the season being Virgo, I've been looking for that yellow ray of wisdom more than anything, fam. And I wish you wisdom and synthesis on your side of the world. We've only got a week left of Virgo, guys, before we switch into Libra. Really less than a week. So I want to detail the moon for a second and get you guys on speed with where we are. So the majority of this week, we're going to be waning out. Okay. And it's really going to be like midday Sunday when we have this new moon energy. And it's going to be a powerful new moon, this solar eclipse. And the reason it's a solar eclipse, guys, I want to show this to somebody who might be concerned. We have our lunation, the new moon, in the same sign as the lunar nodes, Pisces, Virgo. So this isn't a total solar eclipse, but it is an eclipse nonetheless. Okay. And if you watch the nodal axis of the moon, that's going to really help you understand how these eclipses work throughout the year. Okay. And all that's detailed in simplified astrology, which is going to be listed down below. So anyway, gang, that's Sunday. So, you know, the basic tail end of the week, or the weekend, I should say, is really where we get this lunation and then start our waxing period. So full moons are really about culmination and releasing and letting go. But these new moons, which is what we're having this week, is really about restarting and creating a new cycle and manifestation. Okay. But you also got to understand, in general, the moon governs over rhythm, cycles, and timing. So that spectrum of thought, this has a lot to do with our day-to-day energy and our vitality and our emotional states, our rhythm, our moods. feelings, even the body itself has a lot to do with the moon. Okay. Truthfully. So what I see in a lot of us is that, energy can be a lot higher in the full moon. It could be lower in the new moon. But either way it goes, man, your job is to flow like water, like Bruce Lee, man. Your job is to use this leverage and swim down the stream. And if you can even go out of your way slightly to put some magic into the world around the new moon, that can be a powerful act of synthesis. A powerful act of synthesis because everything is magic. Everything is magic. So what we do, we would do well to do with intention. Our whole life is a spell. Life is a ritual. So fire family, showing up is 80% of success. That is the fire element. If we can show up, we'll automatically adopt the corresponding thoughts and then emotions and then take aligned action. Okay. So to bring this down to earth a little bit more, my friends, the question I have for you is really, what do you want from your life? What does your perfect life look like? Because this is what I think when I consider the spirit of Virgo. This new moon is going to be very powerful because it sets the stage for the whole next month ahead. And Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar. I even have a video called Why Virgos Are Like That. And it's a very good video that details this sign in so much depth, even going through the 12 houses based on Virgo being the first. So there's a lot to say about Virgo. I would definitely check that video out. I'll link it down below. But Virgo reflects perfection. As if that really is a thing. The concept of perfection is a Virgo archetype because this is the sign of service, refinement, and synthesis. I mean, and one could argue maybe perfection doesn't exist. Some might argue it exists all the time. I'll let you come up with your own thoughts and feelings, but I hope you're seeing this energy. Order is reflected by Virgo. It's ruled by Mercury, which has a lot to do with math and science and structure. Virgo rules over the body. It rules over the routine, the schedule, the service we give to the world. Leverage is another Virgo thing. Virgo reflects purity, cleanliness, order. So that's what I'm seeing in this lunation cycle is that it's asking us, and I say it, which sounds like I'm talking about the sun and the moon, but gang, I really believe the spirit of life will be asking us this weekend, what does your perfect life look like? What are your true needs? How can you make order? What's the structure you need in your life right now, fam? And above all of that, this Virgo new moon, this solar eclipse, looks like it's asking us to create simplicity. Simplicity. And I also want to draw your attention to the fact, guys, that when this new moon rolls around, Mercury will already be in the sign of Libra, which is the ruling planet of the Virgo constellation. You see what I'm saying? And Mercury, again, is all about perception and focus and interaction and communication. So with this in the sign of Libra, this is the sign of beauty and balance. And some might say perfection. Aesthetics, and hey, balance is a better word. I've heard somebody say balance by definition is equal forces in opposite directions. And that sounds correct scientifically. So we want to be aware we're doing things to extremes in this month, guys, and think about how we can slow down in some respects or live a more integrated life. Okay. Because Virgo also gives us this wisdom that says it's not what you do. A lot of times it's really how you do it that matters so much. I mean, yeah, it matters what you do, but attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. So it makes me wonder, are you looking at life like a witch? Or are you looking at life like a magician? Are you seeing the magic in all things? How are you perceiving this world and yourself? Do you have a positive attitude? And are you affirming this daily? How do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself? Do you have a good reflection with yourself, a good relationship with yourself? A lot of ways to think about this, guys. So apart from that, I also just want to kind of point out a couple aspects of this lunation, and we might detail this as we go. Let me know, guys, down in the comments, because I'm keeping these videos 15, 20 minutes. I'm sorry, 25 minutes. We're at 15 right now. Let me know if you guys want a separate video on the moon. I would love to know. I've been making lunation videos for the new moon, tarot readings, but let me know if you want me to get into the astrology or whatever. Let me know in the comments down below. One thing I do want to point out for today, man, is that this new moon is going to be trying to Uranus and it's going to be trying to Pluto, which are both in air signs. And man, this looks like a very empowering time. Pluto, very liberating time. Uranus, I'm talking over the next month. And you may find that this underworld journey, because let me tell you guys, Virgo is about depth and self reflection. So this is the journey to the underworld, man. I'm telling you. And it's going to ask us to go deep within ourselves to find some healing. Oh, yeah, to find some balance, to find some integration. Virgo really wants us to speed up our work in this world, to get more done, to be more effective, to be more practical. And for some, we may find that that means slowing down a little bit, creating more stability and structure. And maybe through the virtue of bringing in the healing and balance and the synthesis, we will be able to get more done by even doing less counterintuitively. So I also want to mention that this lunation is opposite to Saturn and opposite to Neptune. So on the same spectrum, you're going to see that there is going to be this challenge on our energy with Saturn, really asking us to do things in an elite and authoritarian way. And it's going to be important that we reinforce ourselves while being kind and loving to ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, guys, with this language of astrology, Sun and Saturn is about being hard on yourself. And that's not always good. Let's just be honest. It's not always good. And then the Sun opposite to Neptune on the same note, this is about having a great vision for your life and true spiritual depth and understanding. But at the same time, this could be highly overwhelming or disillusioning. And the dreams are going to need some work with Saturn and Neptune conjunct. The dreams are going to need some work. And we're also going to need some practicality for our spirituality to make sure that these ideals we hold can actually have some stable footing in this world. Okay? I'm saying simplify your life on all levels. That seems to be the message right now as we're leaning into this next month of Libra, going through this final lunation in Virgo. Very powerful stuff, guys. So that's really the details for the sun and the moon today. Let me get back to the beginning, and then we are going to go through the rest of these planets, okay? So again, we're starting this week, Tuesday, September 16th. The sun is making these interesting angles. So just be aware, guys, that your energy is going to be going through some upgrades this week, and you're just going to have to play life like a magician and show up every day with intention and love, enthusiasm, gang. I want to share a little message with y'all just for a second because I think it's very powerful. In the mysteries, we talk about knowing thyself and its importance, and I think it's important to know your values. And I've been taking some time to synthesize in my own life, and I took time to clear out my notes actually from my phone in the spirit of synthesis, and I found a note that says core values, and it's based on the 5 elements. Fire family. If you don't have your own core values, try these on. And if you need to adapt them, go for it. Value for fire is enthusiasm. The value of love, or I'm sorry, water is love. Our value attached to the air element is honesty. The value attached to earth is integrity. And the value we attach to spirit is purpose. So do with that what thou wilt. I hope that helps somebody today, because I see we're doing a lot of inner work and we love it. So yeah, just keep in mind we got these interesting angles between Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn. It's going to be a great week to put in that work on you guys. Remember, the worth is in the work too. So always be willing to show up for yourself. So we've got about 3 ingresses, guys. Where we start this week, we have Mercury in the sign of Virgo. Okay. And then about Thursday, we're going to have Mercury switch to Libra. And then for the rest of the week, it's going to be a Mercury Libra week. I also want to add, not to jump back and forth, but the sun is going to make its ingress on Monday. to Libra. That's when we start fall officially. That's when we celebrate our Libras. And that's when we start watching the sun transit that part of our charts, okay? So just be aware of that. I'm sure a lot of you guys already put two and two together and saw that. But yeah, if our lunation happens at 29 Virgo the very next day, we get that ingress into Libra season. And I think it's worth speaking on this for just a second. Maybe as we combine Mercury and the Sun and their ingresses into one point, that we're going from mutable Earth to cardinal air. Okay. And I talked about this earlier in the video that power seems to be reflected by the cardinal signs. And it's the power of what? Air, connection. That's crazy. I'm learning as I'm telling you guys this, but I was thinking that means Virgo is the wisdom of the body. Wow. Okay, cool. Hey, I don't know if this is correct because this is coming through my own body, but hey, that would say that, like, maybe Capricorn is the power of Earth, Taurus is the love of Earth, and then Virgo is the wisdom of Earth. I don't know if that's going to help somebody, but I think it's helping me right now. So, anyway, gang, we're talking about the power of connection when it comes to Libra season. And that just means put yourself out there. You may find that in this month, you're going to feel more social and want to get around company and feel the beauty of life, whether that's through your own appearance and your own character or your own relationships or going out and crunching leaves under your feet or putting on a nice flannel or a hoodie or putting on your fall clothes or drinking pumpkin spice or something like that. Libra has a lot to do with nice and flattery. Keep in mind, this whole sign is ruled by Venus. So Mercury and Libra as well is going to make our perception change on Thursday moving forward, where we might see life a little bit more beautiful because we're looking at it with love or the desire to relate to it or to balance or harmonize it too. So that's kind of cool. But let me back up, guys, and tell you that on the same note of Venus next, she's switching, fam. So you gotta take the good with the bad, man. And I don't think anything in astrology really is good or bad. It just is what it is. But I will say, man, I rather like Venus Leo. And on Thursday we still got Venus Leo, but Friday, the day of Venus, she's gonna switch into Virgo. And this is Venus in her fall. So I'm telling you guys, get ready for the underworld journey, straight up. Because Venus in Virgo, it is saying we're loving through the wisdom of Earth now. And that just means that you're going to want things that are practical, tangible, and real. And on one note, Virgo Venus more positively helps us define our boundaries and raise our standards. But on another note, it can make us super nitpicky and critical and irritable when it comes to ourselves and others. So that's a lot to take in. And I'm going to leave it simple just because we also need to talk about a couple more things. Number one, Venus is going to make a square to Uranus as soon as she jumps into Virgo. And that's going to make us want some change or some liberation within our life. And it's worth saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Or, don't let your need for different take you off of your course. Don't spend money recklessly this fucking week, guys. That's what I'm looking at when it comes to Venus square to Uranus, because you might want to just to feel free in some way, man. And, invest in your future if you want to feel fucking free. God damn it. Make it make sense. All right. And then anyway, we got Mars making an ingress too, guys. I'm trying to wrap this up in the next minute and 30 seconds. So Mars and Scorpio, saving the best for last, man. There's going to be some big magic coming out of this week right around. So like literally the day after the new moon, Mars switches from Libra to Scorpio. And, this is a very balancing, synergized synthesis type of week because while Venus might go through her fall, Mars is getting out of its fall and going back home. It's the planet of awareness. I don't want to say awareness, but truly it is energy, desire, and action directed through fixed water, the love of our emotions, the love of water. And that's just going to say that you may kind of find this new power surging through you as we go through this lunation. Mars in Scorpio is about evolving yourself and this soul power directed through your body. And you're going to find yourself getting a lot further in this inner drive, just kind of coming up in this breath of fresh air. And I want to say, man, a million other things, but I got 30 more seconds, guys. I'm really working on punctuality. So the last things I want to say, guys, is Simplified Magic Round 2 is starting on that new moon. So if you aren't yet a member, hit the link down below and get it at half price before it goes back up to full on the new moon. Also, sometimes as a Saturday in the Taurus, I'm kind of slow. I just got off Apple Music and switched to Spotify personally. So relatively soon, you guys should be seeing the podcast available for the audio version. I love you guys with the depths of my soul. Fire family, stay on a roll, stay lit, stay positive. See you in the next video. Blessed be.